Hi everybody, it's Sarah Cray with Let's Make Art, and I'm here with Taylor.
Hi.
She is going to be teaching us this project. Do you want to hold up the project?
This is Cherries.
Oh,
I didn't get the memo on the oohs and ahs.
This was like a bird, and this was like angelic.
It's beautiful.
Nice. Angelic birds.
And we have Keenan who's working our cameras. He'll tell us where to look, and he'll ask questions, sometimes has fun facts.
Sometimes.
All of that good stuff. So, Taylor, do you want to walk us through what we're using?
Yes.
And the steps or whatever?
So there are 6 steps, and the first step is going to be your outline. The second step is going to be your first layer using red.
Okay.
The third step is your second layer using yellow and adding in your shadows.
Okay.
The fourth step is blending and coloring in the stem. The fifth step is the third layer, which is using blue and brown and defining the shadows. And then the sixth and final step is blending it all out.
Blending. Blending is the name of the game, it seems.
And then the colors we are using are Van Dyke Brown, Pale Geranium Lake, Cadmium Yellow, is that how you say it?
Yep, cadmium yellow.
Light Blue, and Grass Green.
And just so you guys know, they don't list these colors on the pencils, so we'll tell you. So I'll just say the codes really quick, too. So Van Dyke Brown is code 176. Pale Geranium Lake is 121. Cadmium Yellow is 107. Light Blue is 147. And Grass Green is 166.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that really threw me off when they didn't have the names on the pencils.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I'm like, I have to look at a color code to know this color.
It's like a whole new language.
I understand that.
Numbers are confusing.
They are. Okay, so I'm going to lead us in our oath, and then we'll get right into our project. Now, I do want to point out that you'll notice we are not using watercolors in this project. This is all watercolor pencils, so I'm super excited about that.
Snap!
Yeah. So if everyone can raise their right hand and repeat after me. I promise to be kind to myself.
I promise to be kind to myself.
I promise not to compare my work.
I promise not to compare my work.
And I promise to have fun.
I promise to have fun.
And I'm really excited, especially with this project. I mean, doing only watercolor pencils, it's a new medium and it's scary to try new things. And sometimes we get so like frozen and we think we're doing something wrong because it's new and we don't understand. And just let that all go. We're just here to have fun. Taylor is here to lead us. Keenan, why are you here? No, just kidding.
That's why.
That's awesome.
Did you forget the bell?
I didn't forget. You just moved on.
Oh, did I too
It's
quickly?
okay. You know what? I'm here for just ringing the bell, and I rung it, and so now we're good.
Your pay will be half this week.
Yes! One whole Reese's treat.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay. So to start, I have never taught before, so this is going to be a learning experience for both of us. So
Fun.
bear with me.
This is exciting.
You're doing great so far.
And then with these cherries, this is kind of like a more laid-back project to kind of get you started and used to these pencils. So, and we both had to go through a learning curve with them too. So give yourself some patience. Do it a couple times if you have to. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be so great. It's just a piece of paper.
Yes.
Okay, so step 1 is the outline. So with cherries, you want to kind of think of circles, but squish them just a little bit.
Okay, so wonky circles.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can do that.
And
Check!
the good thing about fruit in general is that each one looks different, so you don't have to get the shape exactly right. And the main thing is you kind of want to think of it as two, like if you see where these highlights are, it's kind of two bulbs combined, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. So if you would feel the cherry shape, it kind of like curves in the middle, right? So it kind of like does this.
Yes.
Yep, that's
Yep,
it.
that's it.
the one.
On both of them, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So then when you're drawing these, do you want to keep them maybe, because we don't have an outline with this project. We're
Right.
just freehanding, but remember, fruits are all different shapes, so it's not going to be wrong. Do you want to keep them about maybe 3 inches wide, do you think? I'm just trying to mentally place it. I like to mentally place it first.
Yeah, because you want to make sure that you have room for your second one without it going off the page, so kind of eyeballing.
Okay.
And then you also want room for your stem, so make sure, I would put it more towards the bottom portion.
Okay. That makes sense. And so you're just going in. Are we doing like because I'm a sketcher.
Yes.
So am I doing like rough sketches, or is it more like I'm just curious because there are some drawers who like to do like hard lines.
Yeah. Okay. So if you feel more comfortable sketching, you can show that.
Okay.
I typically feel more comfortable doing more hard lines. So we
You're
can
a
just show
hard line
both.
gal.
Wow,
That's
okay.
perfect. Okay. So for me, because I feel nervous about my hard
Yes.
lines, I kind of just am going to roughly do a shape. I'm just going to put marks on my paper.
I guess mine's kind of more sketchy too.
Okay. I'm doing, and I just want to show you guys, we have different sizes here. That's okay. This is the joy of sketching and drawing. Like, everyone's is going to be a little bit unique, but I'm noticing that maybe I'm not leaving enough room, so I'm going to do mine, I'm just going to do mine a little bit, like, bigger and lower on this side, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, even in this one is up higher than.
Oh, perfect.
You know.
Okay, so I'm just going to do the opposite so I have room for my stem.
These pencils are cool.
Yeah.
They're almost chalky. Is that like a good
Yeah.
way to explain them?
Yeah.
I feel like I made mine really big, but that's okay.
Okay, I'm still going. Boop, 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 boop. Okay.
Nice. I'm seeing a heart, a lazy heart
That's
there.
kind of what I
Yeah.
was thinking
You know?
too.
And also, I love that we're taking the time to sketch this and show you guys because, like, at this stage, you cannot judge your cherry yet. So don't do that. That's not fair to your drawing or painting.
Yeah. Paint.
Yeah.
What would this be considered?
Pronting.
You got to give it a chance to be something before you make a decision on it, you know?
That's similar to like how Sarah always says when she's painting animals with her watercolors, how you have to wait till the very end to really see it. That's totally the same concept with this from start to finish because the water and the layers are what
Bring it together.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, so if you take your green and make the stem, you don't want to make them perfectly straight lines because that's, you know, nothing in nature is perfectly straight.
True.
Maybe that was.
And do you do your stem, do you want it to go into your cherry?
Yeah, so I would
Okay.
say just about the, what do you call it? The
That
first quarter?
Yeah. Maybe that's
Maybe-
like a ½ inch, quarter inch.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to do a little sketch.
And you want to kind of bring it towards the middle so that it can connect to your other cherry stem.
Okay. Now, cherry stems naturally, do they get like thicker where they meet at the top a little bit?
Yes. So it's kind of like a,
Like
I don't know,
like a branch.
bulb, like a,
Because it's kind of like the stem part where it branches off is where
Yeah.
it started, right? So that's where
Yes.
it's going to get a little bit thicker.
Makes me think of a wishbone.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Who watched that show when they were younger?
Oh, 100%. Loved Wishbone. He was a magical dog.
Is that, am I too young to know what that is?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Which is shocking.
It's fine. Everything is fine. Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
Great.
Okay. So, for the second step, doing our first layer.
Wait, we did the
Yes.
first step?
Yes.
Good job, you guys. We did
First
it.
step. Nailed
Step
it.
is done.
Taylor's like, what do you mean?
I'm just taking a minute to congratulate everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Drawing's hard. You did it. Good
Yeah.
job. Okay. So, the important thing, same with if you were painting with watercolors, if you want to have a highlight, you need to leave that area white. Like, let
Okay.
the paper be the highlight.
Yes.
And if you can see in here, I kind of got some, I mean, there's some color in there, but it's so light, it looks natural.
So are you saying that in the way of like when you start putting down this layer, you want to avoid those highlighted areas?
Yes.
Do you ever mark them first?
I do.
Okay.
So, how I mentioned earlier that they're kind of two bulbs put together. So, to show that, I draw like little circles, just kind of
Okay.
And then on both of these also, which don't worry about this right now, but you have these two highlights, but one of them will be lighter than the other one.
Okay. They kind of look like little faces.
I was going to say that also, bicycle with really flat tires.
That kind of reminds me, you know that apple? Is it Snow White?
Yes!
Yeah.
White.
The death apple?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. And so, okay, so if you're looking at these cherries, why these highlights are happening on this part is because they have that bump there. They stick out of the like plane. So that's why those highlights are hitting those edges, because they're moving out towards our light, right? And why in the middle it's not as highlighted, because on the actual cherry surface it goes in. Okay, so it's a little bit farther away from our light source.
Yes. So any area that sticks out further, closer to the light, will be lighter.
Have a highlight on it.
I'm gonna mark this off too. I think you might have already done that, but okay. So when doing the darker parts, you want to use harder pressure where you want the shadows to be, and then gradually get lighter.
Okay.
So on the edge, which is farthest away from our source of light, I'm going to push really hard.
So it looks like the left-hand side is where we're kind of putting our darkest shadows in. Well, it's on the right-hand side too. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that since it's more of a sphere shape, it kind of...
So then our pressure would just gradually lighten as we get closer to the highlights?
Right.
Okay.
And then the other shape to kind of think about when you're doing your shadows, to show that this goes inward in the middle, it's kind of like a triangle.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I love watching, I love looking at the reference photo and seeing the current stage, because it's like, these are owls. We're painting owls now.
My favorite times is when I'm painting something and at the end Kim will be like, honestly, halfway through that I thought there is no way we're gonna make it out of this. Like, I don't understand. But we do, I think that's why art is just tricky in general, is I think people expect it to look finished every step of the way, and that's just not true. What do I do when I get to the back?
Okay, so the back is going to be a little, maybe not as dark as it is on the side, but darker on the top here, and then leave where you put this, what would you call that, like a crease where your stem is. This right here in the front is going to be darker, and then a little bit lighter behind.
So it's almost like I'm making an ellipse?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
and then kind of following that form a little bit.
And the thing, when you're on these initial layers, you don't see how this looks totally messy, but the water is going to clear all that up, so don't worry about that.
Do I need to follow the form when I'm drawing, the form of the cherry? Does it matter the direction of my drawing strokes? That's
a good point. So it is best to follow the shape of your cherry. So when I drew, because I
asked because I'm noticing that you're rounding, and then on this way you're rounding, and kind of working yourself around that highlight.
Yes.
And I wasn't doing that as much.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So just kind of follow that.
Yeah.
That form.
So think of these as two individual circles.
Okay.
With their own gravitational pull.
Yes.
And just so you guys know, I would assume that we're at the step where if you weren't doing that yet, all is not lost, because we're just on the first step.
And with these two, as soon as you add water to it, it's going to lighten the color anyway. So really that definition is going to come in the later steps.
Okay. Okay.
And then, and you can even start doing that shape more with the yellow when we go in to do that. So we're not going to blend it yet.
Okay. I got excited and grabbed my paintbrush. We're not there yet.
We are going to, so basically you're going to do exactly what you just did, same pressure, same area with the yellow.
Okay.
You can get creative with it if you don't want to cover the whole thing in yellow and just do some parts. This will just make it more vibrant.
So this is kind of like, I know in previous watercolor tutorials we've talked about doing different, creating form and value ranges by value, and also doing it by hue. And if you do it by hue, which means color, then you can create a richer sense of the color itself. Instead of just doing red and white only, if you introduce yellow in there, then in the highlighted areas, you'll have undertones of that warmth and orange and things like that. So when you're thinking about creating form and doing value, think about how you can utilize different colors within these values to really deepen the color and just create an overall more feel of vibrancy. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yes.
Okay.
And I do the same thing when I'm working with regular colored pencils. The more colors that you use, even colors you wouldn't think to use, so like in skin tones, putting in blues and purples and pinks and like just vibrant colors, it all pulls together to make, you know, you get all those undertones and it just pops a lot more.
Did I even say at the beginning that you are a colored pencil artist? I can't remember if I did.
We don't know who Taylor is. Taylor's just here.
I'm really sorry.
We talked about it a lot before, and that's probably why you didn't think about it, but I didn't think about it either.
I'm really sorry. Taylor works for Let's Make Art in our marketing department, but she's also a very talented colored pencil artist. So she is helping us learn how to use watercolor pencils, and I am so sorry I didn't say that earlier.
I didn't think of it either.
I guess you guys just have to watch through to really get the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Don't do the first 2 minutes and then know what we're about. No, I'm just kidding.
You won't really know what we're about till the first snack break.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is our snack
Check.
today. And then when you get close to the highlights, do you want the red to be the closest color to the highlights, or yellow, or does it not really matter?
I don't think it matters.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Okay, and now to define these shadows a little more, we're gonna go in with blue.
Okay.
So instead of going over the whole thing that you just did, you only wanna do the dark parts with blue. So this side, maybe a little bit on this side, and then this center
Okay.
and back.
Okay, so I'm staying on the left.
And with this, if you want to make sure you're using hard pressure too, because if you don't, it kind of gets lost in there a little bit. So this will help you when you add water in.
Okay.
Taylor, how long have you been using colored pencils? Sorry, were you about to talk?
I was.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just wondering how long you've been using pencils as an art form.
I used to draw solely with just like graphite pencils, and I've done that ever since I could hold one.
Cool.
And then I kind of migrated to colored pencils. I got them as a Christmas gift like 3 years ago, so just a couple years, but that was a whole game changer for me.
Okay, question.
Yes.
As we're doing this, if I felt like, oh, I really should have added more red in that one area, at this point, can I go in and add more red?
I was actually just thinking that too.
Oh, okay. So, like, even though we're doing these layers in an order, you can still go back and forth at any time?
Yes.
Okay.
That's nice.
That is nice.
And so if for yours, when you go in to add water, the direction that you add the water will help blend that in the shape
in
of
the
it too.
form.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Now for, what are we on? The fourth step. We're going to blend all of this with water.
And how much water do we want on our brush? Like, do I get it wet and then hit it off the side of the cup so it's just damp, or do I want it dripping?
You don't want it dripping, but you also want to make sure you have enough on there where it's not streaky.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I would start from left to right here,
Mm-hmm.
so...
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited and a little bit nervous. Oh.
Isn't that so cool?
Oh my gosh, that just smooths right out. Wow.
Have you noticed with more layers or less layers if there's a vibrancy change?
More is definitely more vibrant.
That may seem like a silly question, but I was genuinely
Oh,
curious.
sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel dumb.
No. I was thinking it myself.
Keenan, it was a great question.
Thank you.
Good job, Keenan.
Thank you. Taylor, thanks for telling me.
You're so welcome.
Don't get used to it though, okay? Just kidding. So then I'm kind of just like following this round circle, yes? When I'm doing the...
And so, okay, when it gets to the highlight, what I do, just so I don't pull some of this color in, I kind of start where there's no color and then go
push out. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That makes
Oh,
sense.
that's smart.
We do, it's similar to the same thing in watercolor, right? Where if you want to keep an area really light, you push the pigment towards your shadows or the darker values.
Have you guys ever had, like, your own cherry trees?
Not my own cherry tree.
Have you ever had them off, like, straight off the tree?
Yes.
Those are so good.
They are so good. Keenan, have you?
I don't think so.
No, really?
No, I don't think. My grandma had a plum tree. No cherries that I know aware of.
I mean, like, we didn't have one growing up, but I think we had, like, neighbors or, like, someone we knew had a cherry tree that they would share their bounty with us. It was great.
Huh. My parents planted apple trees like
Ooh, I
15
wanted
years
one.
ago. They just started coming up with fruit. Takes forever for apples, apparently.
I have a bunch of different fruit trees in my yard. I'm trying to remember which ones they are. I know one is an apple, but they're like baby apple. They're like so tiny. Is that the type of apple, or is that does that say
The
like
age?
the age of the tree?
Excellent question.
Does anybody know?
They won't be able to tell us.
Oh, okay. So wait, on my left highlight, I'm actually blending it.
Okay,
The white
so
Yes?
that, you mean like covering that white spot?
Yeah, because I was leaving that white spot totally
Right.
white.
Okay, so this was more of like an accident, but it's gonna end up that way anyway. So if
And-
you go ahead.
And the nice thing with watercolor is, like, if you did accidentally color it, because these are watercolor pencils, you can lift. You can lift the highlight too. So
Yeah.
if you guys lost your highlight, you can lift some of that pigment up with just like kind of a damp brush.
There's a lot of information on apple trees, and I cannot sift through it.
Okay, well, I'm sure somebody watching knows. So
Yeah, someone knows.
if someone, I'm sure, like, actually even Michael knows.
Oh, yeah, he probably does.
Michael's mom's orange tree in front of her house. Have you seen that?
Yeah, her crabapple tree.
Is that what it is?
Mhm.
I thought it was an orange tree. Oh my gosh.
She does, I believe it's crabapple. I could be wrong. Dang it. My mother-in-law has this gorgeous tree in the front of her yard that the flowers are so beautiful. Is that what you're talking about?
It's like in front of her garage. Is that
That's
the
a
same
lemon
thing?
tree.
Oh, okay.
In her pot.
Never
Is that what you're
mind.
talking
Yes,
about?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I believe that's a lemon tree. Oh gosh, now I don't know.
It's all the way in
Maybe it
California. We
is.
can't see it
It's
from
just,
here.
it's so cute. I love it.
But she also has the tree further in the front of her yard. I believe it's a crabapple tree. That the flowers on it in spring are so beautiful. They're like pink. They're gorgeous. The blooms.
Sounds nice.
Is there ever like the flowers and the apples on a tree at the same time?
Yeah.
That would be cool to paint.
Yeah, because all fruit comes from flowers. So sometimes if they grow at different times, like they'll have some of the buds of the flowers, and then the fruit actually has already kind of blossomed from it. So yeah.
That's cool. We're also starting an agriculture channel.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, so while this one's drying, if you want to move on to your second cherry and just repeat the steps.
All right. Let's do it.
Repeat.
So we'll start with red, yes?
Yes.
And I'm gonna like really go dark with this one, and I'm just gonna see what happens, you know? Because I think maybe the first one I was feeling a little bit timid.
That's kind of what happened to me here, except the reverse.
You're like, I went at it really aggressively. But you're also a hard line gal, and I'm a sketch gal, so you know. That rings true then.
True.
I feel like I just do everything really hard. Like when I type, everyone in the office gets on me because it's so loud.
Okay, you are not nearly as loud as Brock, though, because he has one of those mechanical keyboards.
And then
just
he got me a mechanical one, so then it was...
Are you serious? Yeah. They're so loud. Clacky, clack, clack, clack.
They're just trying to brag about their typing speed.
I mean, I will say that when I'm not trying to focus or film, it feels really cool typing on them.
Yeah.
Like, it feels really cool. But, like, when I'm trying to, like, do stuff and I just hear clackety-clack, I just can't. Sorry, Taylor.
Oh, my gosh, no. I don't even notice it till someone points it out. I'm literally, like, banging on it.
Kaden, you play piano. Do you, like, hit the
That's
keys
called
hard?
fortissimo.
Oh.
And I like to go play fortissimo.
Cool.
I think it's fortissimo. Oh, dang it.
Google it.
I'm Googling it.
You, Steve.
Because it's forte.
What I think is cool about watercolor pencils also is, like, I'm getting different, like, textures within here, like different blooms and drying times. So, like, if you guys are seeing some slightly hard edges within your painting, don't get frustrated or mad. Like, that is the joy of watercolor. And I feel like it introduces, I don't know, just some really cool texture variation within your cherries. So I kind of love seeing how these different things are drying. I just noticed that, and I'm loving it.
Yes, nailed it. It is fortissimo.
Good job.
Thank you. It's been a long time since I've done any music theory, but I remember that one.
The fun thing with watercolor pencils, too, is, like, you can be, like, messy. You know, like, the paintbrush water, like, really smooths it all out, so it's fine if it's just, like, haphazard a little bit.
Yeah, and remember, I was just thinking about that, too, because the lines on both of your cherries that were there from the first and second layers are gone.
Yeah.
Super cool.
It was really satisfying to put that wet paintbrush and just smooth that all out.
It's very stress relieving because then it's like you don't have to think about it so much. You can just do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I cannot not see faces in my cherries. Like this
Well,
one, I even have like a little mouth.
I was going to say, it helps that you added a mouth there.
And then after red was yellow, yes?
Yes,
Oh, Taylor, I see you're adding some blue.
I am.
So you do red, yellow, then blue.
Yes.
Come on, Keenan.
Keep up.
Keep up.
I just got excited.
You know that half pay we just talked about?
Half pay, that's good. Man.
And this is actually where understanding color theory a little bit can help because, like, blue and red make purple, right? And purple is actually like when I try and do a dark red, like for example, when I used to do pet portraits a lot and I would be watercolor painting like dog tongues, the back of the tongue is always a dark purple because it's a dark red. So I would utilize purple a little bit. And also when you mix black and red together, like just those two colors on its own, it kind of gives it a purple hint to it too. So this is kind of, blue is kind of acting as a way to create purple, which then in itself is creating a dark red. Yes?
Yes.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. And I will also say too that like, this is like a, how do I say this? This isn't a purple blue. This is like a blue. And when you mess with different color temperatures, like I would say, like this is a warm red and this is kind of a cooler blue. So when you mix those together, they create neutral tones, like brown tones. Whereas if this was a, wait, am I saying that right? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think so.
Basically what I'm saying is like when you mix these two blues and purples together, and we at this point would have already done like a color mixing chart. I would have showed you how to do that. So you can do that with your watercolor pencils. But when you put these colors together, they make a purple, but it's a super desaturated purple. It's not a vibrant purple because of the tones of the red and the blue that we're combining. And we can use that to our advantage because we're trying to create shadows with that neutral. Where sometimes when you combine a certain blue and a certain red together, the purple is very vibrant. That's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah,
Got it.
was a longer explanation than maybe it needed to be. But
Nope, that's perfect. Just what we needed.
thanks, Keenan. What do you do about like edges? Like, are you find that there's like, because for me, I have like a little bit of like sketching on the edges.
Yeah.
Are you fine with that, or do you try and take the time to like go in and clean it up?
I would say part of it is personal preference, and the other part of it is if you do try to cover it up, do it sparingly. Otherwise, sometimes it's easy like to keep going out and out and out, and then it kind of messes up the whole shape.
Because then if you kept on going out and out and out, it would probably be a lighter value than what we've put in for this shadow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say, especially if you want to try to do that, I would be more mindful of doing that the first time you lay water down.
Oh, I see.
Then
Okay.
you can push it around better.
I personally actually kind of like that I have these like fuzzies off the edge, like the little pieces of pencil.
I do too.
I think it's kind of cool. And some like sketchiness.
Oh, it's just so satisfying.
I know, I'm like trying to hurry to get to that point. I'm like, I just want to blend it. Okay. Oh my gosh. It's like butter.
I know.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just watching that, it changes its like feeling completely.
So cool. I'm in the zone now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think both of us are. We're like, yeah, this is nice. Then I get to my highlights, so I'm starting in and pushing out. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, look how much darker this one is.
Mm-hmm.
I got braver.
Both of your cherries, left and right, match fairly similarly in color.
Oh yeah, like even ours are a little bit more red on. Like,
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I don't know if that's because maybe the paint, the left one dried.
oh, that could be it too, right? Because watercolors always dry a little bit lighter
Mm-hmm.
compared to when they are wet.
Very neat. Pretty cool.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Gosh, I love this little guy here.
That's a very good one.
It's feeling right.
Okay, now we're gonna go in to the stem.
Okay.
Oh, see, be careful of touching this.
Oh
No,
yeah,
it's-
I got a little bit here.
Mm.
Okay, so can you still see this?
Yes, I can.
Okay. We're just gonna color this in with green.
The whole stem?
Yes.
Dark green, like really hard pressure,
Um,
or medium pressure?
let's. Do I go back in with? I'd say let's just do medium for now.
Because you can always add more.
Right.
Sorry. Okay.
And then with the yellow, just on half of it.
Like the right hand side, left hand side, not matter.
I guess I tend to do mine on the right side.
Okay.
I don't really know if I have a reason for it, but
Well, if our highlight is on the right hand side, stronger on
yeah.
the cherry, then that would mimic on the stem.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Ooh, you could even add a leaf to the top of the stem, maybe.
Yeah.
Are there little leaves on?
How many cherries have I picked?
I honestly didn't know.
I don't either, Sarah.
And then when you're done with that yellow, on the opposite side, so the left side, go in with some blue. Blue. I feel like I tend to make my stems very thick, and
Well, I'm also a thin stem girl.
yeah.
Huh, interesting.
That's why when I'm painting florals and my leaves, I like to use my
Oh, that's true.
my
That's fine.
thin lines. I like my thin lines. Personal preference, you guys. All personal preference.
Whenever you get that color laid out, go in with some water and blend it.
Now, I'm going to use my round 2 on this part just because it's a smaller area.
Yeah, I would say use your round 2. For me, I'm using this aquash brush. It's kind of similar to holding pencils for me, that I feel like I have more control over it. So in the tighter and smaller areas, I like to use this, but I would also use a round 2. It either works fine.
Okay.
Taylor,
Yes.
good posture.
Thank you.
Keenan, that was the rudest thing you've ever said to me. Even right now, if you guys are looking at us, like, go forward facing right now, because this is how we're...
It's so funny. Taylor's hand's only been in the way once.
And I'm, like, almost getting in the way of hers.
Wait,
That's
Taylor,
how,
what's-
like, over my painting I am. It's fine, it's
I
fine.
just want to be really close to all the magic happening.
It's just... I can feel it.
That's funny.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow,
So,
look at those cherries.
beautiful.
They're looking great.
Now we're gonna go in and make our shadows more defined. So for that, you're gonna use blue and brown.
Okay.
And at this point too, after you get your shadows in, if there's areas where you're like, oh, I want more yellow or more red in there, you can add that in too.
Okay.
After this layer, this will be the last time we blend it out. So this is kind of like finalizing it all.
And make sure it's dry, right?
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay. I just had a like momentary freak out, and then I realized it's okay, it's dry.
Unless you want to practice some of those textures
yeah.
in the beginner series that we mentioned, but if you're nervous, to be safe, I would just wait till it's dry.
So I'm doing another layer of red on my first one especially. I felt like it just needed
A little more red.
a little more like just vibrancy. I'm gonna do yellow too.
So then after this one, are you going to do more water?
Yeah, so there'll be one more water and then it should be set.
Cool. Taylor, would you be willing to push your paper a little to the right?
Good?
A little farther? Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You know what would be kind of cool with these? That one technique you showed about using the shavings of it. You know how some cherries have like speckles in it, I feel like?
Oh yeah.
Dang, that would be sweet. What if you did blue speckles?
That'd be cool too.
So I would think that like if you're feeling like your cherry is not as dimensional as you maybe want it to be, then pay attention to the range of values that you have on your cherry. So if it's looking really flat and it doesn't really feel like it has like a full form or shape to it, then maybe look, okay, where are my highlights? What is the range of values I have? If you want to build up that form more, that is where you kind of accentuate the darker values.
There's actually something that I've seen people use before with just regular colored pencils. I could not tell you what it's called, but maybe it's just like a value chart maybe, but it has holes in it and it shows like the lightness and darkness onto the side, and so you can hold it up to your picture and see if it matches how dark you want it. Does that make sense?
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I've never seen such a tool.
Yeah.
Me either.
I've never used one, but they look
We
really
should
handy.
find one.
Yeah.
Maybe we should find one. And maybe it should be a bonus item. Actually, that might have been a large promise.
Don't do it.
It's like this huge thing. It doesn't even fit in a box.
It's a 3-foot poster.
I don't even know what it is. And I'm like,
Sarah's
we're
like,
gonna
I've
get
never
it for
seen
you.
it. Let's get it all.
So on this, they can still see this right here. Yeah.
Yes.
Good side. Okay. This to me is looking too orange. Do you
Okay.
see that? And so I'm just going to go in with more red too to kind of bring it back to the cherry-esque.
Cherry feel.
Yeah.
This is cool. These are neat.
You do really need to have a sharpener close by.
Oh,
huh?
yeah. Something to mention too, the reason we started with the left one and then went to the right is because if once you add water to it, it kind of stays in place. But if we would have just drawn on this one without adding water and then went back to this, it's easier for your hand to smear all the product.
Okay.
I feel like that's going to be like a really good shadow.
I'm really excited. It's the best part.
Hunchback for
Get like 2 inches away from my paper. Oh yeah, look at that.
Wait, you can do that.
I know. This is like Taylor, it's so nice that like you're the one that has to sit up straight.
See, on this layer, the shadow gets more of that deep purple that you were talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh my, yes, look at that.
Look at that cherry.
Oh.
A cherry is cherry.
That was good, Keenan.
Thank you.
Oh, I had a little water drop. Hold on, let me soak it up before it touches anything.
And then on this step also, when you're going in your final layer with water, this left highlight is when I would kind of make it just a little bit darker than your right one.
Oh, okay, so you just kind of do a swoop over it.
Yeah. I guess I just realized I'm still using this. I was like, why is this different than last time?
So you didn't like the feel of the aquash brush for this part?
I thought I did, but
Oh,
I feel like this blends it out
better?
See, on this side, it kind of pushed all my color to the edge.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Oh, yeah. I'm quiet because I'm just so happy right now. That looks great. Dang!
Dang.
Sorry. I literally Keenan jumped.
Dude, what just happened?
That is so cool. I love it.
Nice cherry.
Yes.
Now, if you get to the end of this step and you still see some spots that you want to touch up, you can totally just repeat the same process, like color in areas that you want to fix and then just go back in and blend it with water.
Just wait for it to dry.
Yes, yeah.
I feel really good about this cherry shape. Do you do any more work on the stem? Am I jumping ahead?
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, for the stem,
Yeah.
to finish it off, that left side that you did some blue, I went in with some brown just to darken it up.
Okay.
Oh.
I think I might. How do I want to do this? I'm going to do my other cherry first, and then maybe I just like totally forced your hand of like moving forward. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're totally fine.
I'm like, what do I do with my stem? Just got really excited. Okay. And then repeat the same thing on our second cherry.
Yes.
Well, we'll do.
Something else, so the stem at the base of it, I put a little brown too, just since it's coming out of this little.
Now this one I feel like I won't have to do as much in terms of layering since my first layer was pretty dark. But I do like that I have like hints of yellow near the highlights. So.
For my stem too, when I put this brown, I think I'm gonna kind of leave this a little streaky, just because you know the stem's usually more.
It's like woody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. That was nice. You guys are on the
Same
same page, even though you're working on different pages. I'm a big fan of Buzz Lightyear myself, but
That took me a minute, longer than it should have. Have you seen the newest Toy Story?
I think there's 8, so I don't know.
Is
There's
there really?
just 4.
Okay, 4. Yes? maybe.
With the Forky.
Forky. Yes, I've seen that one.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All of the Toy Stories are so good.
Disney does an amazing job with their stories. They're storytellers first,
Yep.
then animators.
Disney
Have you-
Pixar.
Yeah. Have you ever seen where there's like a number they put in all their movies? Do you know what I'm
Yes.
talking about? Isn't that cool?
Yes, because there's history behind the number.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's on a license plate. It's on like a poster in all the Disney movies.
Yeah.
Well,
One the
several of
doors in
them.
Monsters Inc. It's so cool.
It
It's
is
cool to
cool.
like look for them, you know?
Yeah. Easter eggs, is that what that's called when
Yeah.
people
Yep.
like
Yeah.
drop things and
Actually, I don't know, because I have always thought of Easter eggs as, what's the phrase for telling a story in advance sneakily?
like a precursor?
Not like, almost like foreshadow?
Like a sneak peek?
Kind of. That's what I think of an Easter egg, where it's like, oh, here's a little Easter egg for you, because we've got this thing coming. This is more like a classic buddies have grown up together from college and sneaking things in their movies,
Oh.
which is amazing.
And I'm kind of just doing my stem right now because when I blend, I want to just be able to blend it all, you know?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Ugh, I did it again. I keep grabbing this.
There's nothing wrong
Habits.
with that, Taylor. I'm thoroughly enjoying this blending part. That's why I'm not talking.
I know. I feel bad.
I don't even have anything to say. It's
'Cause
just
I'm-
so nice.
It's so therapeutic.
I just really want to like embrace it while it's happening and like not miss the moment.
Let me get you some cherry facts so you guys can just listen for a second.
Okay.
You know, facts about cherries. Let me see what I can get for you. These aren't real words.
They're
a
not
cherry
real?
is the fruit of many plants of the genus Prunus
Hmm.
and is a fleshy drupe. Commercial cherries are obtained from cultivars of special species, such as the sweet Prunus avium and the sour Prunus cereus.
What?
Cereus.
One more time in English, please.
I can't.
What did you?
I did know that cherries were a drupe actually. And did you know that bananas are actually a berry?
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Did you know you can split bananas into 4 sections?
Yeah. Did you stick your finger down it? Is that what you're talking about?
No, but
Sorry, okay.
apparently you can do that. But it's a 4-section, like an orange.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I see.
You can split it.
If you just poke it and it falls apart.
What?
and-
I gotta
That's what
try it.
Taylor was just saying, Keenan.
Who?
Gosh.
I've got some cherry quotes. Would you guys like some cherry quotes?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
hear 'em.
Life is just a bowl of cherries. Don't take it serious. It's mysterious.
Is that a real quote?
Yeah, I just read it.
Oh. I like life is like a box of chocolates a little bit better.
I'm not sure that these cherry quotes make sense to me. Life is simple. It's either cherry red or midnight blue.
I don't understand these.
They don't make sense.
It's like either they're so deep that I just am not at that level.
I think that's what it's got to be. Or someone just really loves cherries. These are all from the same person. Oh, that's nice.
Okay. I think I'm feeling pretty good
Yours are so bright.
about what I got. I mean, I was pressing hard on those pencils.
So many layers.
So I think it looks like I used more brown and you used more red to get your.
Oh.
I do
yeah.
like that. Looks really good.
They just look so great. I love how we were able to like build up this form by just doing these layers of different colors and then using our paintbrush just to blend them out. Like, oh, so beautiful.
Love it.
So then question, how do you know when to stop?
We'll see. Right now, I should probably stop because
Okay.
there's such a thing as doing it too much to where the more you touch it, the worse it's gonna look, I guess.
Okay, I'm tracking.
It's almost like kind of like if you're feeling like you're like just keep on going in, it's worth it to maybe pause, take a break from it for a little bit, look at it from far away, and then come back to it and make any adjustments. Because sometimes, just because now maybe could get to where you could possibly overwork it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good to take a break before you get past. Because once your paper starts to degrade, which like really can happen, no matter what materials you use, it could start to do that. You can't like come back from your paper degrading.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Kind of see. It's like right here. I was pushing so hard so many times that it's like, okay, that's probably a sign I should stop because you're working it too much.
Okay. So you're kind of looking for those little signals of your paper will talk to you. Just listen to it. Pay attention to it.
Trust it.
Say nice things to it. Okay.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Let's both show them up so we can do a front facing. Here are cherries.
Beautiful cherries.
Using just watercolor pencils.
Unbelievable.
That is it. That is so amazing. Taylor.
Sarah, it's so good.
Yes.
I'm so excited about this. So thank you so much for showing us how to do this project. I love how they turned out, and I hope you guys have so much fun with this. And this is just a really good way. I mean, like, honestly, I was nervous with the amount of color that I could get with watercolor pencils. And then Taylor showed me, she's like, well, I did these cherries. And they were, like, so vibrant. I'm like, teach me your ways. This is amazing. So I really appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us. If you need any of these supplies, you can find them at letsmakeart.com. We have an Instagram, so you can tag us in your work. We want to see it. We want to see what else you guys use these watercolor pencils for. You can tag us at Let's Go Make Art or hashtag Let's Make Art. And we have a wonderful Facebook group that's for the sole purpose of us being able to like post and share our art. And it's large, but it is so supportive and it's so kind and it's really good to post everything. It's scary, but we're really trying to get rid of this idea that everything you do or an artist does is perfect every time and the first time, every step along the way. It's not true. It's not true. And that's why people think that like art is a skill that you're born with or you're not. And it's because we only tend to share the moments that are perfect. And we don't acknowledge, we did this project quite a few times before we got it right. Or, halfway through it's gonna look funky and that's okay. Or maybe your third time doing it, it's still not turning out. That is okay too. That's all part of the process and learning. So if you wanna share your work, if you wanna see what other people are doing, if you wanna ask questions and connect, that's called Let's Make Art Watercolor. And I think that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
So Taylor, thank you. Keenan, always a pleasure.
Thank